to an accumulated radiation of more than 25 millisieverts, then they should be recognized as having been affected by exposure to atomic bomb radiation. The judge recognized 10 out of the 161 plaintiffs as hibakusha and ordered Nagasaki Prefecture and Nagasaki City to issue them with health books for hibakusha. Ritiko Omachi is one of the plaintiffs recognized as hibakusha. She was 12 years old when the atomic bomb was dropped on Nagasaki. She says she was about 8 kilometers to the east of Ground Zero. However, the court did not recognize all the plaintiffs as hibakusha, so Omachi has mixed feelings.
She says she's happy to be recognized, but she wonders why not everyone.
Takeshi Yamaguchi is the leader of the plaintiffs group. Yamauchi says he feels mortified. He says now that the ruling has paved the way for achieving their goal, all the plaintiffs must continue to join forces. After the ruling, Toshihide Miyake, a lawyer for the plaintiffs, pointed out the court has not recognized many of the plaintiffs as hibakusha and said they intend to appeal the decision in order to win in the upper court. Nagasaki Governor Hodo Nakamura commented on today's ruling. He said that although he has not yet read the details of the ruling, he understands that the position of the prefecture and Nagasaki City has basically been upheld, and that the claims of some of the plaintiffs have been recognized. He said he will hold talks with the central government and Nagasaki City before deciding on a response to the ruling.
According to the Welfare Ministry, in the case of Hiroshima District Court in 2009 acknowledged 7 people who were outside the designated area as hibakusha and ordered Hiroshima City to issue certification, and this ruling has become final.
The lower house speaker has met representatives of political parties to hear their positions on proposals for electoral system reforms. These include a reduction of 10 seats. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe last week announced his commitment to accelerate the review of the system. Lower house speaker Tadamori Oshima today met ruling and opposition party representatives to hear their views on a set of electoral reform proposals submitted by a panel of academics and experts last month. The panel recommends that the number of single-seat constituencies be cut by 6 and proportional representation seats by 4. The panel members are calling for the introduction of the so-called Adams method for allocating single seats to prefectures. They say the aim is to better precisely match the allocations to the size of prefecture populations so that the disparity in the value of one vote can be narrowed down. If the proposals are applied to the results of the 2010 national consensus, 7 more seats would be allocated to Tokyo and 4 other prefectures, while Hiroshima, Ehime, and 11 other prefectures would lose 1 seat each. The disparity of the vote value between the most populated and least populated prefectures would be narrowed to a ratio of 1 to 1.621. The number of single-seat constituencies would be reviewed according to the results of the national consensuses held every 10 years. The zoning would also be reassessed if the vote value disparity is found to have gone beyond 1 to 2 in the bridge census held 5 years after each full-scale survey. In the meeting with Oshima, the governing Liberal Democratic Party outlined a plan for rezoning single-seat constituencies based on the results of last year's census. The party says the number of single-seat constituencies should be reduced by 6 and proportional representation seats by 4. The LDP opted against the introduction of Adams' method for immediate review, but it said the method should serve as the basis for selecting the six prefectures that will lose the most single-seat constituencies. LDP Secretary-General Sadakoza Tanigaki, who says he wants to coordinate in-house opinions quickly. Now that Prime Minister Abe and some party members have proposed moving up the timing for seat reductions. He says cross-party adjustments are essential, as this matter cannot simply be decided by a majority vote. The opposition Democratic Party insists that lower house seats could be slashed based on the results of the census held 6 years ago. It also called for the Adams method to be used to reassess the number of single-seat constituencies on a prefecture-by-prefecture basis. DPJ Secretary-General Giordano says some LDP members are reportedly aiming to simply cut the number of single-seat constituencies by 6 without using the Adams method. He says such an attempt is solely based on party interests, cannot be tolerated. Giordano says from the viewpoint of the public it's only reasonable to follow the proposals of the third-party panel that was set up to examine the issue. Junior Coalition partner Tomato said its basic stance is to respect the panel's proposals. It added that the number of seats should be reduced on the basis of the results of the compact census held last year. The party also indicated the Adams method should be used to review the number of single-seat constituencies on a prefecture-by-prefecture basis. Kome's Deputy Chief Kazuo Kitagawa says there is no alternative but to accept the proposals in view of the recent developments. He says the results of last year's census will soon be available, and so it will be desirable to use them as the basis for reforms. The Australian Innovation Party indicated that 10 seats should be axed on the basis of the results of the 2010 census. It also called for the adoption of the Adams method for allocating the seats. Innovation Party Secretary-General Masato Imai says 10 seats won't be enough, but in view of the fact the panel was commissioned to come up with proposals, he says they'll have to be respected, even though they do not fully reflect his party's stance. Japanese Communist Party said the vote value disparity should be redressed by altering the electoral system to one based on proportional representation contests instead of cutting the number of seats. Communist Party's Diet Affairs Chief Keiji Kokida says it's problematic the panel came up with proposals while regarding seat reductions as a foregone conclusion. He says the Constitution stipulates the nation's course of action is determined by the people's representation.